Last time we looked at supply and demand analysis, and there's a particular reason for doing that. We were interested to establish how market prices get determined. And we saw that we could use supply and demand analysis to see how prices of goods and services get determined in a market system to deal with the problem of scarcity. And we also saw that if there were changes in demand or changes in supply, market prices could adjust. So for example, if there's an increase in demand, we saw the price will rise and the quantity will rise. But we've only really been dealing with the direction of changes in price and quantity when there are shifts in demand or supply. We haven't begun to work out how to measure the extent of the change. So for example, suppose the price falls. We expect people to buy more. Yeah, but how much more? Does a given fall in price lead to a huge increase in the quantity demanded, or just a little one? If there's a rise in price, does it cause suppliers to increase the amount that they're selling to the market by a little bit, or by a huge amount? So we're interested in the sensitivity of consumer demand and supplier behavior to price changes. And we need to find some way of quantifying the extent of the change for a given price change. So what we're going to do here is to do that mostly by focusing on demand, and then at the end we'll have a little look at supply. So we'll think first of all about the nature of the demand curve and say, how sensitive is consumer demand to price changes? And the term we use for this is the elasticity of demand. How sensitive, how elastic is the demand as a result of a change in the price? And we'll do that with a simple formula. And the formula that we're going to use is this. We're going to look at a price change and say, what's the percentage change in the quantity demanded for some given percentage change in the price of the good? And I've called this the own price elasticity of demand for reasons that you'll see more clearly in a minute. But we're asking the question, when there is a change in the price of a good, what's the change in the quantity of that good demanded? We want some proportionate change, and in this case, we'll use percentages. Why do we use proportionate and not absolute changes? Well, if you take an example, it becomes easy to see why. You go into the shop to buy a bottle of wine, and the price was €5, and it's been reduced to €2. What are you going to do about purchasing the wine? That's a very considerable drop in price and may well lead you to a considerable increase in the amount of it that you're willing to buy. Suppose now you go to a car showroom and there's a Mercedes for €300,000. And the salesman offers you a €3 reduction in the price. You're going to be less than impressed. But it's the same drop as it was in the case of wine. It's a €3 fall. Yes, but that's not the point. The point is that proportionately, the drop in the price of the Mercedes is much, much less than the drop in the price of the bottle of wine. What is going to drive your decisions is not the absolute price fall, it's the proportionate price fall.